back to another video. For today's video, as you read by the title, it is going to be my thoughts on why I believe that Dan Humphrey from Gossip Girl should be in prison. Honestly, sipping tea with Mr. Shoe alongside him. Gossip Girl is a show that I grew up watching. I very much loved watching the show. How I think overall of the show, I think that Gossip Girl is good until season 3. I'm going to be literally ripping Dan Humphrey apart and showing and proving to you guys that this man should be in prison. If you guys are new to this channel, hello, my name is Joyce. I do makeup looks, reactions, reviews on TV shows, movies, plot lines, characters, and song covers. And if you stay on this channel, you will not regret one single second. But that is enough said, and without further ado, let's get on with this. So I'm going to start with a little biography like I do for all my videos. Dan is one of the main characters in Gossip Girl. His father is Rufus Humphrey, and he has a little sister named Jenny Humphrey. He is supposed to be the protagonist of the show, and through him, we follow the story of the show. And the story of the show is a bunch of privileged white people who go to a private school, and they go through drama, romance, life troubles. Their lives gets published by the tabloid Gossip Girl. But the story in season 1 starts with like Dan Humphrey. It's through him that we follow the story. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying. In season 1, Dan Humphrey is portrayed to be the outsider out of all the privileged rich students. So Blair, Serena, Chuck, Nate, he distances himself of their lifestyle and finds it pretty awful. And he does mention that he does not want to become like them and tries to keep his sister, Jenny Humphrey, away from that lifestyle too. In later seasons, he ends up dating a few women, such as Vanessa, Hilary Duff. I forgot her character's name, but I know Hilary Duff was in the show and she dated Dan Humphrey for a little bit. I think it was in season 3 or 4. He's dated other girls too. I don't really care to talk about them. They're not really important. But his most prominent one is Serena. After he was also revealed as Gossip Girl. And in later seasons, Dan becomes more of an anti-hero. That's how I even saw him through his character and through the seasons. This is my review on Dan Humphrey and his role in the show. Dan Humphrey. I think Dan Humphrey is one of the biggest cases of what I like to call character assassination. Oh my God, Dan Humphrey fits it very perfectly. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. In season 1, Dan Humphrey is a likable character. Out of all the characters in season 1, Dan Humphrey was my favorite. I loved him so much. And I also love the fact that out of all of the group, he didn't want to be like Chuck or Nate or like do the scandals and the awful things that they would do at the Upper East Side. He was trying to stay away from that. Like he had his own lifestyle, his own thing, and oh my God, it was so perfect. His personality, it wasn't hateful as it became in later seasons. That's what I loved about Dan Humphrey in season 1. But then afterwards, oh my God, Dan does the most awful things in the show. That includes him sleeping with his teacher. Yes, I know that the teacher, she's more in the wrong than what he is. But the thing is, he knew that what he was doing was wrong. He's mentioned it several times throughout season 2. He knew that it was wrong, but he was still sleeping with her and he was still hooking up with her on the side. And yes, it's true, she ends up losing her job. Blair ends up exposing her and everything. That was good. At least the teacher, you know, she got in trouble. So that was good. But the fact that Dan Humphrey, I'm sorry, but he knew that he was hooking up with the teacher. He knew that he was in the wrong too, and he knew that it was wrong, and he still kept hooking up with her, and he didn't care. That's the moment when I started to dislike him so much. It's from there that Dan starts becoming more and more of an asshole, and he starts becoming very insensitive towards his friends, especially Nate Archibald, which I cannot wait to get to his video, because I'm going to say right now, Nate Archibald is probably one of the only characters that I love in the show from beginning to end. It's Nate Archibald. Dan Humphrey, it just sucks because I did like him in season 1. And then after later seasons, all the things that he did and the fact that he is Gossip Girl, which comes to my next point. That means that if Dan was Gossip Girl, that means that he was responsible. He is responsible for everything that came out on that tabloid. All the scandals, including exposing his little sister for sleeping with Chuck Bass. Dan Humphrey is a psychopath and he should be in jail. Oh my God. The fact that he did that if he was truly Gossip Girl and he did that to his own sister, and at the end, what I hated is that everybody let it go. And even Chuck, when he said,
"Oh, but is your life really ruined, Blair? Like, yes, Dan is Gossip Girl. Yes, he's ruined your life and made you guys' lives miserable. He's done that. But right now, you're good, so who cares, right?"
He did it for a reason. He did it, all of that apparently was because he was trying to get into Serena's pants. I think that was the reason. He felt like an outsider, so he felt like, I guess, exposing other people's business and scandals would make him feel connected to the people in the Upper East Side because he felt like an outsider, because he wasn't a privileged, spoiled brat like the others were, which this is my point. It proves that he is the biggest case of character assassination, because it doesn't make any sense for Dan Humphrey to become Gossip Girl at all. It doesn't make sense. That comes to my point of why he should be in jail, because if he's done all these things, most of the thing, it's criminal. So that means that if he exposed his little sister, who was a minor during that time, and slept with Chuck, and he exposed her like that, yo, like, that's a criminal charge right there. He's a psychopath. Oh my God, like, I'm so mad. I'm really mad. Like, I don't even want to talk about his development, the things that he did in the show. I don't really care about the girls that he dated. I don't really care what he's into. If he really is Gossip Girl, then none of what he did in the show really matters. Nobody should praise him. And that ending where he ended up with Serena Vanderwoodson, knowing what he did to her too, come on, like, he doesn't deserve her if he's actually done all these things. And also the way he treated Serena too, close to the end of season 5. He knew that Blair was still in love with Chuck. He knew that, and Serena was still into him. And the fact that Blair decides to choose Chuck later, and then he gets really upset when he knew that Blair still had feelings for Chuck. I'm sorry, why are you surprised? And then afterwards, he uses Serena in season 6 just to write in his book. Like, oh my God, it's so messed up what he did to Serena in season 6. Like, oh my God. The way Dan was treated is so unbelievable. I don't know why the writers decided to do that to him. Like, I don't know why they couldn't have followed his storyline from season 1. It was really good. Yeah, this is what I wanted to say about him being Gossip Girl. Now going to the fact that it doesn't make sense for him to be Gossip Girl. Dan was portrayed as a really good person who wouldn't go to extremes levels like that, you know, like basically being Gossip Girl and preying on these other kids' lives and destroying everybody else's life by exposing them on the tabloid. It didn't seem like something that he would do. So that's why I thought it was kind of weird for him to do that. yes, it's true he becomes more of a fucking asshole towards the end of the show, but the fact that he is Gossip Girl, it just makes us as viewers, it makes us not like him even more because he is Gossip Girl, and Gossip Girl exposed all those people for all the scandals that they did and was literally destroying their lives. So you guys turned Dan Humphrey into a guy who's trying to have good stand-up values and not trying to be like the privileged, spoiled, rich kids, trying to be better. You guys turned him into an asshole for him to be an even bigger asshole at the end. That does not make any sense. The reason why it also doesn't make any sense is because apparently Dan Humphrey was not supposed to be Gossip Girl. Originally, it was supposed to be the guy who is Serena van der Woodsen's little brother, Eric. It was supposed to be him. He was supposed to be revealed as Gossip Girl, but apparently there was a news tabloid or a news magazine who guessed it before the show ended. So that's why they changed their minds last minute and they decided to just throw in Dan as Gossip Girl. It annoys me so much because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. Most of the actors and even the actor playing Dan Humphrey, which I'm going to talk about him more at the end, they've talked about how Dan being Gossip Girl does not make sense at all. And everything that I've explained in this video, they've literally said the same thing. It does not make sense for his character.
The end of Gossip Girl, the show, you know, whatever your reaction is on whether it was smart to do that or not, that he's Gossip Girl, you know what I mean? We kind of, he's kind of been, it didn't really line up with the character of Dan, right? And yeah, I just find it interesting.
Surprised at the ending?
Yeah. Yeah, I was very surprised. We were all surprised.
So
if he really is Gossip Girl, then he's a fucking criminal who should be in jail, seriously. And he's a predator. Absolute predator and a psychopath and a sociopath. And that ending, he did not deserve it if he is really Gossip Girl. That's basically it. That's basically why I believe Dan Humphrey should be in jail. I'm not going to say that I despise him because I don't. There are worse characters in TV shows that I've had to like see growing up and they were worse than Dan Humphrey, and some of them I've made videos on. Dan Humphrey, the reason why I don't despise him is because he was really likable in season 1, and I don't think that his character deserved that treatment. It's the way the writers wrote him that pisses me off so much. I think he deserved better treatment, and again, like I said, he's the biggest case of character assassination. It's absolutely Dan Humphrey. Now I'm gonna end this video with the actor. If you guys have seen my other videos on You, Penn Badgley, the actor who plays Dan Humphrey, he also plays the main character in the Netflix show You. I've always said that he's a great actor. He's phenomenal. I love his performances, and from beginning to end, I've always loved Penn Badgley. Like he's a really charismatic, amazing actor, and he's a great person in real life too. I love this actor. I have nothing but respect, and it is not his fault that his character Dan Humphrey is a sociopathic asshole who should be in jail. It's not his fault. That is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more content. Let me know what you guys think. I'm pretty much sure that everybody will agree with me, especially on the Gossip Girl part, because that was so controversial. Oh my god, I remember like the scandal, the frenzy that it created with the actors and the fans that watched the show saying that Dan Humphrey being Gossip Girl does not make any sense. Oh my god. That is it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.